Alrighty, racing along here in Lake City on the south side of the tracks, trying to get this done. So the road said it's in. I sanded it. It turned out okay. Some divots and potholes and stuff, but again, Pennsylvania roads, that's what you're going to get. I did come in with a little bit of fast and final and try to fill some of the most egregious offenders. So we'll see. I'll sand that down and then need to get it painted. What I also did was I set the building in here. I used this foam because it matched very, very nicely. A little bit cleaner than firing up more. Smooth it. This will be the parking lot. A little bit of a paved access down the far side of the building. And across the street, I figured, well, you know what? That's a small parking lot. In reality, it probably would be a lot bigger. But I put some visitor parking spots over here. So these are my little buddies that I've been using to scale things out, or at least get an idea how things are going to be. So, alright, so there's some visitor / overflow parking there. I figure the big wigs will park here in the front. You know, you got the, right by the door, you got the president and CEO, Cletus's dad. And maybe you have the engineering manager, something like that. And over here you got two more spots. You got the purchasing manager, finance guy, I don't know, whatever. But anyway, just been trying to lay things out, make sure they kind of make sense. Probably could put a parking spot here. And I'm weird. I'm like driving cars and saying, okay, if he's going to come in here, can he get in there? How would he get into that spot? How would he get out of that spot? There's a car here. Anyway. Alright, so next step is to paint this. Paint it and weather it. I'm not going to agonize over it and go through, you know, huge multi-part 3-week endeavors to paint it. I'm going to put a nice light gray color on it and then weather it, use some chalks, and then see that. And I'm not going to go crazy because it just doesn't matter. Now over here, so this is a little area that I added some extra schmooth it, kind of a paved little access into, and I might put a ramp here. Again, for the Lake City feed and grain where they can unload tractors, farm implements, and that kind of stuff. Maybe have them, you know, sitting around the yard here. I might also have a team track over there, too. Anyway, I don't know. And then down here, I got the hotel situated where I want it. So that I think is okay. And the leveling all worked fairly nice. It's where the new gas station is going to be. It's not this one, but I'm still waiting for that kit. I haven't heard from them. It's been about a week. I don't know. I want to get that kit so I can get this built. Anyway, now on this side, I had a little kit that I bought at like one of the last actual live in-person events I went to. Was the regional convention last year out in Boardman, Ohio. Little post office. Now that's small. You can see I call it the Lake City Post Office. I also made a sign up saying the new post office is being built. It's going to be up on, I don't know, Main and Elm Street or something like that on the sign. And then this is going to be torn down just because it's too small. But for now, that's what they had in this little quaint town. And this is Main Street, so it's up that way somewhere off the layout with a nice new, much larger and expanded post office. And then over here, this is the abandoned warehouse that's soon slated to be torn down as well. Try to show that a little bit. That's that MBZ kit that I kind of mucked up. It was fun. It's actually, you take a kit, and normally we're so worried about making them look perfect. I was like, man, I'm going to destroy this thing. So you can see I broke windows, I boarded up things, I muddied it up, because no one's been paying attention to this for years. It's just sitting back here, sad and forlorn, waiting to be torn down. It was fun. I had to scratch build a dock here. And I got some holes in it. Some leftover garbage and stuff that's kind of laying along there. Again, more boarded up doors and keep out signs. And it was fun. That was a real fun kit to build. There's the roof with a hole in the roof. Alright, so that's going to sit there. And then it'll be kind of fun to weather around that and, you know, add some stuff growing out of the roof and everything. So, this is where I am so far. Kind of liking the way it's looking. Now, no promises it's going to stay this way. Because you know me, Next segment, I could change it all, but I'm pretty comfortable with this. I like it. Doesn't look too much. I don't think it'll be too overbearing. Again, this gas station that went in here is a newer one. Built mid-50s, so it's relatively new. That was built, 20, 25 years ago. This old industry was torn down, 35, 40 years ago. They left that there. They used it for a while. Then the company went totally belly up, and it's been sitting there, and no one's claimed responsibility because the owners of the old place left town. And anyway, so eventually they're just going to tear that down. And I don't know what they're going to put there. Who knows? But maybe it'll become a Sheetz or a or a Country Fair, 7-Eleven, something like that in the modern day. And then they built, there was something older here as well in the corner. They tore that down and put the new gas station in, because the American public is starting to really fall in love with their automobiles. So that's where that is. And then we'll get this area moving along. It's fun. This is coming together. Now, assuming I can get the road painted so it looks okay, I can pretty much get this area here, scenic and done, except for I need to leave. I'm not exactly sure the size of the lot that comes with the gas station and how to meld it in, but that won't be too hard to do. Over here, I'm pretty comfortable with how things look. I wouldn't want to go any a bigger structure there. It just probably wouldn't look right. And that's kind of small, I know, for a post office, but I like that little kit. So I'll throw that there. Figure out if I want to have a paved lot for these guys. This whole area is pretty well figured out. I just need to get the buildings over here now. I know what I'm doing, but I want to get the roads done and painted and weathered, and then start bringing the buildings in. I don't want to be reaching over buildings to do remedial road work, etc., etc. So, all right, stop babbling, get back to work, and we'll see how this looks in a little while. All right, making some progress here on the south side. So what we got done is I got the roads. The roads were in. I got them preliminarily painted for the most part. On the left side over by the factory, it's almost done. I really don't like the way they turned out, in all honesty. I kind of copied a technique that I saw in one of Luke Towan's videos. And trust me, Luke is much more talented than I am. I don't like the way it weathered up, not because of Luke, just because of the way that I think I did it wrong. I used oil brusher with some white spirits, put it on the road after I painted the roads, and the roads were painted. I didn't spray because I'm in a basement. I didn't get an airbrush out because I just don't feel like it, so I took the lazy way out, which could be the reason for the results, but I just picked some light grayish craft paints that I had. The one on the right is pavement. That as the name implies, that's almost like pavement. And I use that for this little annex area here, which is the relatively new, almost brand new visitor overflow parking spot on the other side of the street there. So this side is in that lot. That looks okay. That's just a piece of craft foam that I cut to fit in there. And then I finagled a little piece down, I could say, on the far side of the factory. You can't really see that. And then the access road that goes back to the shipping dock. It looks okay. I may come in, put some pigments on it, maybe try to sand it a little bit, add some, water in the potholes and whatnot. And it's a pretty beat up road because it's not public. It's just coming back to the industry. So this sits here. I'm going to stripe this part of the lot. Probably 2 spots here, stripe that, and then back on the far side, this is okay. I mean, this is a parking lot, or not a parking lot, like the shipping dock lot. So it's like, okay, that's probably gonna be pretty beat up. They're not real worried about taking great care of it and whatnot. Just get the trucks in there and load them up, and some employees might park back here too. So that should be okay. The crane sits here, and then they can load trucks or rail cars. There's one of my little flat cars ready to go. Alright, so that should be okay. I'll make that work, and I'll get the road looking acceptable. Again, not perfect, but acceptable. And then up this way, what I did, of across the crossing here. I figured I'd put a little, that's a little, almost like a team track. What I kind of would like to do is be able to unload tractors for the feed guys here to kind of sell farm implements. So I think I just love that look. So I think it'd be kind of cool. So this is actually I think it's a Blair line ramp, and I scratch built in addition. I think this should look pretty good. Not perfect. You can tell it's not quite the same. My skills in matching the appropriate dock supports aren't the greatest, but hey, you know what? You get it done and weathered up, and I figured there'd be some tractors sitting back here, and maybe the brand newy ones out here. Oh, look, the new farm walls are in, so that might sit out here to entice folks to come in. And then this road is in. I did have a little bit of fun with the striping. I painted that one out, and they moved it up to there. That's the point to stop. I don't know if it will be striped like that, but whatever. Now, this road still has to be weathered a little bit. I added this just for fun because I have it. This side is pretty much done up to here. So here you enter in. This will all be gravel. So the lot for the feed mill there is gravel. And you can come in here, come up here, come in here. It'll all be gravel. There's a little bit of an asphalt kind of ramp coming down in here just to get off of this. Probably where the trucks would tend to go if they're, loading here. A little more stable for them to get in and whatnot. So that's that. This sidewalk is in. I think this is Blair line side. It's like a task board type material. And it looks fine. And again, you get it done, you get it weathered, you get everything. No one's going to come here and nitpick your sidewalk. Well, some people would nitpick your sidewalks, but I'm not really worried about them. Okay, a little post office sitting up here. Just for fun. There's a sign on the side of it. No one's about to read it, but it says basically, there's a brand new post office coming. Going to be open June 1958. So that kind of sets the latest part of my layout, right? I can't be past June 58. Oh, of course, there could be the construction delays. That's always possible. Alright, so this road's in. I kind of marked it. I'm not really worried about being perfect. I did find a 1948 manual of, what is it, like, I don't know, it's like traffic control signals and road markings. Pretty cool to read. Kind of followed that, but not perfectly, because, again, I'm not worried about it. I'm not a traffic engineer. And then this road is all done. I used some striping that I got from a friendly subscriber. Sent me some stuff that I'm still using. So if you're out there still watching, thank you very much. You know who you are. I won't name names. Got it down to here. Here it's a little bit wonky because I kind of ran out. So that's with a yellow pen, which isn't perfect. But, the roads fade. Roads, one thing I noticed, roads are all kinds of different conditions. So I'm not real worried about it. Because, again, one section of the road looks good, then whatever they did something here looks a lot nicer. And then the striping can be really, really, really dim or obscured or faded out or whatever. So that's fine. On here, I'm going to put a little bit of sidewalk, I think, up to here. Just to seem like there's something on this side. Maybe some houses start. The town continues into my body here. So, so I'll do that. I have an idea for this. I don't know if it's going to work, so I'm not going to show it just yet. This is going to be the gas station. This is roughly the size of it, where it's going to sit. I have kind of figured out how I want to do. I have all the sidewalks and stuff cut, access into the thing. I just don't know if what I'm trying to pull off is going to work or not. We'll see. I have a piece of 1mm foam that I painted that's drying. We'll see what happens to that. I didn't like the paint initially. It kind of warped itself, but I quick flipped it over, painted the other side. It seemed to straighten out pretty nice, so we'll see what happens. Again, the hotel will sit here. This will be here. I moved the gate up there. Anyway, so that's kind of where we are right now. Again, coming along, and now what I can do, since I don't have this, and I can't really finalize a lot, my plan is to work from, now I'm going to work south side to the west. Well, I'll do all this, because now I can do this. I can really start getting, once I get the road, maybe the striping in, then I can start laying stuff in here and doing the scenery and getting things ready to rock and roll. So that's going to be fun, all the way up to here. I can even get the hotel in up to here, so I can really work while I'm waiting for this to come in. I hope it comes in soon. It's in the Canadian Post, so come on, Canadian Post, get that thing across the border. And then I got to build it, of course. So there'll be a little bit of a delay on the southeast side, but okay. A lot of this I can do, and then we'll just keep forging away here. Coming together, I'm kind of liking it. We'll see how things work out when I get things scenic and other buildings in, but it's going to be nice. And the one thing I'm going to do, probably where the paint bottles are, again, one of the things I was realizing, again, this is, again, great to do this stuff, but really should think ahead. You know, you're going to come in here with a local, and say you stop, say about where the central soya covered hopper is. Well, you're going to need to uncouple. And it means you're going to need to reach in there. So again, that's kind of why this whole area is going to be open. I mean, there might be some low buildings, but nothing real high. If I put that water tank, water tower, it'll be back here. When I don't want you reaching over this anyway. So you should be fine to reach in here and uncouple. A little bit of a reach, but I'll keep, you know, things clear out here. Aisle side, that shouldn't be a problem. Tractors, vehicles really shouldn't be an issue, but pretty much your field of fire will be in here to go in and uncouple. So, all right, let's keep plugging away here and see what kind of other mischief I can get into. Oh boy, here we go. All right, so the road on this side is good enough. I kind of came in, I did some more weathering with weathering powders and kind of have the truck marks. I worked on this parking lot here, some stains and and some lines, and good enough. So now what I'm going to do is basically this back area here, right along the tracks. I'm going to come in there, and I think what I'm going to use are these flatter mats. This is a Lars Holf, and I have some Martin Wellberg mats. It's good. I mean, they're flat. They're more like paperish backed, so they'll adhere very nicely. And I'll do kind of where the green paint is. Do that first. Get that in. I have some of the buildings marked where I'm going to put them. They're waiting there in the wings to come in. See down there? Water tower on the tracks. Gotta love it. So I'm going to get that done. And then do some stuff up around here as well. I'm not totally enamored of how this looks now, but this will kind of be scruffy, just pieces and gravelly. And then I want to work back here behind the edge of the parking lot there and everything. So that'll be the first phase to get all that up. Then plot, plop, place some of these buildings in here. Get this placed. Move my big blue scissors. Because it's really pretty much ready to go. So, alright, so let's quit talking and get to work. Okay, round one. Subplan B. Annex C. Alright, so I have it done out there by the tracks, just the mats. I use a lot of scrap pieces. Since I had leftover pieces, no sense chewing up new stuff, let's just put in some scrap. So that's the back hill. Started there, needs some work to blend it all in yet. Come down along here, again there's still a lot of straight lines that need to be fixed, and they will be. I need to put the gravel, or not gravel, more the cinderish stuff on the edge of the roadbed there, and that's all got to go in yet. But we're in, up along, like I said, along this outer edge of the tracks. I snuck it up here into the crossing. Now the other signal has to go in here. Now's the time. It's now or never, boy. Get yourself installed. Did a little bit of work here, going down off the crossing, the sidewalk, down to where the post office is going to sit. There's going to be a little bit of a path here. I figure that, the brakeman will probably hop off, trundle down here up to the turnout. So that'll be kind of a worn little path where he walks there. And the only thing I really did consciously, it was really just cut, paste, and I'll deal with it later, was right here, coming across here. So I wanted that little kind of a path. I figured, yeah, that's probably how people are going to walk. Now, not that they should, but they're probably going to snaggle across the tracks there. And so that's the only thing consciously that I lined up, was that coming across there. I figured people would probably walk that way. And then I had a scrap piece, and I just kind of threw it in here and said, well, well, come on, scenery boy, make it work. I like doing that sometimes. You back yourself into a corner, and like, how am I going to do this? And then you figure it out. It's kind of fun. So, all right, that'll sit there. And then, so the next thing is, okay, the one signal's got to go in. All the stuff, the ballast and cinders and other stuff up along the tracks have to go in. I'll probably clean the track real well back there. Everything runs nice, but I still want to clean it a little bit. And then we'll start putting the buildings in. There's no reason I can't get yokel in, water tower, small shed, this building, whatever. I left this kind of open. I'm not sure what I'm going to do here. Again, it's not going to be real high, but I may want a couple things in there. And then keep moving forward. And I got this road somewhat weathered. The first bit of washes are on it. And I just used, I don't know, I see a lot of these videos where people that are much more talented than me are using 14 steps and doing this and airbrushing that and then patting it on with a sponge and then coming back with this and then, you know, a couple little spider hairs here and there and eye of newt. I'm like, well, I'm not doing all that. I hate to admit it. All I did was I just put acrylic washes on it. The Vallejo acrylic washes. Mostly gray. That seemed to be the nicest color. A little bit of blue-gray, just for some variety. A little bit of yellow, which actually it's called desert dust. It's really hard to see, but it's in there a little bit. And you know what? I think it looks fine. Now I'll come back with some powders, with some of the pigments, and do the the typical lane, the vehicle wear down and whatnot. But you know what? I'm not going to do a lot. It's like I don't think I need to. I want to get this damn thing done, so I'm not going to spend 45 years worrying about the point of diminishing returns on weather on the road. All right, enough babble. Let's get some things done here and keep moving along. Okay, here we go. Continuing on. So that whole layer out there from the track up to the the northern side or the southern end of is in and done. With all those different mostly scrap pieces of mats. And then I put some of the darker cinder type material, rebalanced it where I need to around the signals, brought it up to the crossing, carefully a little bit of gravel on the shoulder of the road, down to the turnout. You can see the path is there back to the turnout. I don't yet have the switch stand in place. I'm trying to decide what I want to put there. And I decided, since I had the stuff out, I had the ballast out, I just ballasted the turnout. Get it done, because if you've been with the channel for a while, you know how much I love ballasting. Okay, that was very, very sarcastic. I hate it. Anyway, so then these buildings are now set in. Just a little dab of 3-in-1 glue just to kind of hold them in place. You don't really need to, but I did. So, now we'll be bringing the gravel up to the road, graveling across, doing the track, getting the things that because this building's going to be here, so I don't want to be reaching over it to try to get the work done. So we'll get that done in this little mini area here. The rest of it's very reachable, so I can figure out what I want to do up here. I may want to put another storage building across the track here from the feed and grain. I don't know, maybe. I have a little loading dock, like I said, the loading dock to go there, or the little platforms. Okay. Then, once that gets in, sets up, I may, depends how I feel. I wasn't going to do a whole lot with the scenery back here, because you're just not going to see it. I just want it there. I want it to look, yep, okay, there's scenery. Don't want to come in and throw a few bushes in there. Maybe. I'll see. That can always be done. That's not too hard to reach, and just plop some various goodies in place. So then when that's done, then it's going to be time for yokel, for the whole building, the crane, work in the end, up in here, and then see how that all looks. So that will start getting us up toward the road crossing here, and then we'll just keep working along. So, all right. More to come as we have fun here on the south side of Lake City. Oh boy, okay, here we go. I decided to videotape this prior to putting the wet water and diluted Mod Podge down, because I want to see if it shows up on video how much this is going to change. Looks good now, I like it, but it's all loose. And what's going to happen is, I know as soon as I put the ingredients on it, some of these things are going to change colors. So what I want to do is just kind of get a view of it beforehand to really see how much things change, because I know kind of what went where. That's the annex over there. And I'm trying something also a little bit different. I took some scraps of the various grass mats, mostly the Wellberg mats, but I had a couple MBR ones left over, just little scrap pieces. And for example, you can say I put them in there around the base of the water tower, because I mean people don't really go there, so I figured, I might have some leaking water, it's going to have a little bit of stuff growing there, and that certainly would have been easier to do. Note to self, if you're going to build this kit and you're thinking about putting it into your layout, what you may want to do is actually put the mats on when it's on your workbench before. It depends how you build it, but the pain is the little guy wires there are really A, fragile, and B, in the way. So it was really kind of a nitnoy thing to get all that grass in there and then get in there with the industrial dirt. That's what that lighter gray stuff is there. And then, get it all patted down without it breaking off guy wires. So anyway, so we'll see how that looks. And then coming over to the other little building, there's some road and gravel stuff back there, some N scale light gray stuff. Get into the annex, and then those little pieces of mat ripped up and put in there. Not really sure how that's going to work out, but it looks kind of cool. This area here, again, I'm not sure what I'm doing, so I'm going to stop. I'm going to stop right here, along here. I came in along the track. Yeah, this little guy, just for the fun of it. It's a relatively new, I don't know, something off the back end of the parking lot there. Came just a little tiny bit over here on this side of the crossing, and then I did come back along this edge of this parking lot, and that's it. And it's surprising how long this takes. This probably took me, no kidding, about 2 hours. Now you're saying, "Oh, wait, Rob, you're an idiot." Well, you're right, I am an idiot, but I'm telling you, it takes time to get in there and get it the way you want it, and then, anyway. But it's enjoyable. I enjoy it. It looks kind of cool. I wish I was done, but man, I tell you, if I sneeze right now, wow, I would have gravel and all kinds of stuff all over the Lake City station. So, all right, let's get the wet water in there, and then next segment, we'll do it probably tomorrow morning. If I let it dry overnight, should be fine, and we'll see how much the colors change. Okay, here we go. 12 hours later. Alright, so here it is overnight. Things have dried up a little bit. And like I said, they do change colors. Again, it's going to be hard. I know, I can't remember myself, but I know, this is a little bit darker than it was when it was dry. And I'm okay with that. You can see how this I like that. I like the way that's kind of set in there. I do like the technique of cutting up the scrap pieces of mat and kind of putting that down and then sprinkling stuff around. That seemed to work fairly well. So this is looking okay. This is a little bit darker. Now what I tend to do now is I'll come in with some pigments, usually like a European earth or a light dust or something like that, and kind of lighten things, especially where there's paths of traffic and whatnot. Maybe even come here and have some tracks where the vehicles come in and whatnot. There's the base of the water tower. Now that industrial dirt did darken a little bit, but not too much. The issue with that is this stuff is a little bit, what do I want to say? It doesn't take the wet water and the diluted Mod Podge as well as some of the gravel type products. It kind of beads up on top. It works eventually. But the effect is, since I had it all laying down, it's kind of rough and bumpy a little bit. And I wanted it to be a little bit smoother. Now, I could come back in there, sprinkle on some more, and it probably would settle. But you know what? It's not that bad. That's part of the issue when you're doing things real flat like this, and you lay your ballast or earth or dirt or whatever soil down, and then come in with the droppers. And I'm not going to spray around my buildings and stuff. You can try that, but that tends to beat up or cause bubbles as well. So anyway, it's okay. Now what I tend to do, like if I did this area here, I'm probably going to put another small building there, but on an area like that, what I find works fairly well, you put down just kind of paint on some of your adhesive, whatever it is. Again, I use 3-to-1, 4-to-1 diluted Mod Podge, and then sprinkle on your ballast or soil or earth or whatever you're doing through a stocking. Yeah, that's right. It works very well. Nice, real fine. It kind of rains down the scenic material gently, like a gentle rainy mist, and it tends to work fairly well. And it's good for open areas like that. But again, around buildings, it isn't quite as easy to do because it will get everywhere. Which you can make it work, but for around here, I just did it, and this actually turned out fairly nice for being as flat as it is. And again, those are gravels, ballast materials, so that's not as bad. All right, so now's the time on sprockets when I think I install the big building here. Pretty much ready to go. I'm still thinking about if I want to do some shrubbery or some bushes back along the tracks. Not sure. Again, it's not really going to be, well, I may, just for the fun of it. Certainly is easier to do it now as opposed to later. So, alright, anyway, so there's the scene overnight. It's been about 12 hours, 14 hours or so that it's dried up. Everything's looking pretty nice. So I got to finish this little area here, obviously. I have an idea what I want to do, and then get this in, and the main building, which is the whole reason I'm doing all this, is for that big scratch-built building to go in. So that'll go in next. All right, more to come. Alrighty, got the yokel building set in there. I'm just going to let it sit there. I'm not even going to glue it down. I think I'm going to come around now with some ballast and other earthwork, and that's fine. Again, I don't normally plan on getting hurricane force winds here in the layout, but it's in. It's sitting in there pretty nice. I did have to add, I was off a little bit on my calculations with the parking lot, so I added an 8x12 kind of as a little footer that I put in there, and then what I might do is maybe add some signs out here for, SJ, President, CJ, Chief Financial Officer, whatever, along the side there. Oh, I do have this little fan type looking industrial thingamabobber that I made up for the side there of the building. Like I said, that's kind of the carpentry shop, so that's some type of industrial thing. And then the rest is in. Again, the crane's sitting there. I'm not going to glue the crane in because I'm going to come around it with some various earthwork and stuff. No need to, so that'll be fine. Oh, I did do a little detail area there on the back. I had that real cool aged old dozer from Artitech that I picked up at some point in time and said, I want to use this. it just looks really cool. So I figured, these guys had it. Hey, what do we do with this thing? I don't know, Cletus, throw it out there in the back. So it's been sitting there forlorn and with some other details and tires thrown in there. So that's just back on the back. I did add some, see there's a little shrubbery there has been added. I did some other various scenery work in through here, which is probably hard to tell. I can see it because I know, I know I did it, but just kind of add another little layer on top of the mats that were already there. So then along the back side, if I can hold the camera one-handed here, don't mind the shaking. It's hard to do and try to see the viewfinder, but there's the little annex. Still got to get a little bit of ballast or some gravel in there. Oh, I got bored. Well, I didn't get bored. I didn't really like the way. Good Lord, that looks white in here. Is that white or pink? I said, you know what? This needs a little bit of a hill here. It just looks too flat and mundane. So I'm gonna have a little bit of a hill there. I know how I'm gonna scenic that, so that's gonna look pretty nice, I think. And then if we can do another flyby here and try to hold this. Now we're not done yet, but again, there's the back side. I gotta do some work back there, reach over the building and whatnot, but we'll be all right. Okay, coming together. I'm liking the way this scene's looking. So let's get back to work and get some of the scenery in, and the hill here all scenic up to the crossing, and maybe have to run a train in here. All right, more to come. Okay, the final building has been placed, and the scenery is nice. It's wet, but it's down, so I figured I'd just kind of show this. So this is the building I added here, and what this is a kit I've had for a long time. It is a European prototype, and actually here's the kit. I'm going to show you this, show you how crazy I am. Let's see if this will show up. Okay, this is let me just try to see if I can make this a little more legible. It might be. So this is a resin kit by Langmesser Modelwelt. Resin kit, and it's Ländliche Werkstatt LM-BSR0008. Okay, anyway. The gentleman's name, I think, is Wolfgang Langmesser. I don't know if he's still around, but he had a very, very nice set of kits. And I purchased this, oh man, years and years ago for the original layout. So it's a resin kit, way too expensive. Pretty simple. I did make some modifications to it, but anyway, that's the kit. I don't know that many folks have heard of this manufacturer. I hope he's still around. He had a nice website. I should go check it out just for fun. I know people have probably heard of MBZ, Artitech, of course Fowler and Volmer and the other more popular European brands, but I'm not sure many folks have heard of this. So I just wanted to show you that. That is the kit. Okay, so let's go back to the light. All right, a little bit better. So what I did to that, I kind of made it per the instructions, which I couldn't read because they're all in German. I modeled the open doors. I did that interior. It's got lights. There's a light in this main bay. There's a little light over here. That's all. I haven't hooked them up yet. That's the next task. I added a floor from Monster Model Works. It's the kind of the cobblestone. They just look kind of cool. It's the whole thing. Anyway, I added a base to it, so there's some broken windows here. And so what this is way back in the day, kind of before Yokel got larger and expanded. They had a small manufacturing building, maybe that building. There's a couple other smaller guys in here. Well, they bought them all up. So now all these buildings are owned by Yokel, and they're used for storage for the most part. Just, auxiliary buildings used for storage, and things like that that just won't fit as their business is expanding. So that sounds good. And again, I always want to use that kit, and I'm not sure it's the perfect fit there, but I like it, so it's there. So that's so that's that. You can see I did it a little bit. I filled in this area over here, so I had to put some scrap mat in there again. The post office has been placed. Well, just a couple dabs of glue to keep it from rolling around. This is installed now, and when they get this in, although I noticed the wood starting to warp a little bit from the damn wet water. Anyway, just to get it in. So that's going to be there. Then obviously the next big thing here is to get the feed and grain building in, but I want to get all this done. I may add a couple exterior lights here and there, we'll see. And that's pretty much it. This is all set up over here. Somebody to come in and do some toning down and some, clean the track and whatnot. So, but this area is looking pretty nice, I think. I'm digging it, man. I'm digging it. So this corner is getting pretty nice here on the south side. Now, I'm going to see if you guys think like I do. Because yesterday I was standing like this and I'm looking at that and saying, I like it. It looks nice. But there's something missing. So when you look at that scene, you tell me, if this was you, what would you do? But what's the one thing you kind of need here? At least to me, when you look at it, what do you need there to really kind of make this corner here pop? Alright, so I'm going to pause it. I'm going to do it. And we'll see if you are thinking along the same lines as me. So, alright, be right back. Boom. Okay. To me, it was just screaming out for a couple trees up there. So I got some of my MBR trees, which are absolutely gorgeous. Yeah, they're custom made. I didn't make them. But to me, that really kind of sets that scene. It's over there by the gully. Kind of gives you a little bit of visual break. Kind of makes it almost like not really a scene divider, but it kind of, you come around the peninsula and think, okay, now I'm coming into Lake City. Kind of gives you a little bit of a visual break. So I really, really like that. Having those trees there. Nice, big foreground trees. Got some leaf litter down in there. And we'll come back to some more detailing, of course. But alright, so that's that. Just seemed that was just needed to me. You can agree, disagree. Maybe you would think differently. I was going to put some small bushes there, but I thought, no, man, I need me some trees. Okay, so let's let the rest of this dry up. Get it wired up. Get the lights all hooked up. And then move on to the other side of the road. Alright, more to come. Ay, caramba, I got a white soupy mess here, eh? Okay, so the feed and grain building is in. The gravel / dirt / paraphernalia lot is in. It's setting up. I know it looks really weird. I always get nervous when I see it like this, but usually it dries fine. It's unusual to say the least when you first look at it. And I know there's going to be some remedial work because that industrial dirt that I used kind of up around the building, especially up by the tracks, because I figure that's where they're loading the various grains and flours and other accoutrements. So that's going to be not a gravelly type stuff. This is all kind of gravel in through here. I added a little corner. It just kind of looked kind of cool. I actually made a scratch built sign that I'll put in when I'm done, because otherwise I'll be breaking it, for the Lake City Feed and Grain. The hotel is set. I got the scenery on the far side, the track side, done. It's not really all that exciting. I can do a drone, I guess, over here just to prove it. It's done. Not much. I have a little cutout there for the gate. I use a little styrene plug in there so I wouldn't get it all filled up. And now the only spot I have for my various scenery items is corner gas, which is here and going together, so it won't be there for long. And I did run out of several of my, two of my gravels that I like. One I can buy more of because it's from Arizona Rock and Mineral. The other one's from Highball. And as far as I know, when I've looked, you aren't going to find highball products anymore. But anyway, okay. Let this set up. Come back in a while and see how it looks. Okie dokie. So here's the parking lot, customer area of the Lake City Feed and Grain. All dried up. Actually, it's been quite a while since I did this. Anyway, through the magic of video, for you it's just a fade. And I did come in and kind of use some pigments to kind of weather the gravel lot a little bit. And I have one tractor just sitting there just kind of playing around with it. And I might want to do some more out here where they unload the grain. Get some pigeons or something like that floating around over there. So this is pretty much good to go. And I'm not sure how much it shows up on the camera, but I can certainly see it fairly well in person. The various marks for the traffic and whatnot. And then I did install the sign out front. And as you can see, the traffic light's there. That's another video coming on that. That'll be a whole separate video, probably posted after this, because I don't have that completely done yet. But okay, then over here on this side, I decided to finish up the scenery. Just, I mean, you know, the groundwork back in here, where they used to be able to come back in. Now they don't use coal anymore at the hotel. They switched over to more modern heating, electric, I guess, I don't know. And I had to do a little bit of scenery here on the back of the hotel. This still needs a little bit of touch up, but I want to get this area done around the parking lot because this building is not ready to go in. That's a whole other video as well for the gas station. That'll be a build video. That'll be posted probably right after this one. This little area here, since this is a kind of an abandoned, waiting to be torn down type of building, where the gas station kind of usurped this area, and I'll park vehicles in there that are waiting to be serviced, or some old, you know, decrepit vehicles that they acquire. Anyway, it's going to be kind of an area just off the gas station where they can throw some stuff, vehicles, trucks. I mean, it isn't a big area, so I can't do a whole lot. Started the scenery down along here on the sidewalk up to here. Then I did it in through here, and you can see, barely visible, is the old track that used to come in way back in the day. Now this area still needs to be finished up. Again, I have this is a Lars Optholf mat and some other Martin Wellberg type stuff in there, and an MBR mat and some other various items. And hold on a second here, I gotta sneeze. Alright, sorry about that. That sneeze came out of nowhere, and I didn't want to capture it on video. Alright, so back to where I was talking about these mats. Again, a Lars Optholf, an MBR mat, some Martin Wellberg tufts kind of sprinkled in there, then just some dirt and gravel and stuff. Now, more work to do around the building. I want to come in here and really kind of weed it up, maybe even have some weeds growing through the platform. Again, I need to finish this little area here and around here, and so this will be done, but I want to get this all done first. I put it in around the building, let it set up, because the building's just sitting there. So I figured this can kind of help. Let me see if it does. Yeah, good enough. You know, that kind of holds the building in place with the scenery, the gravel, the dirt, and the diluted Mod Podge. So that's fine. So that building's just sitting there, and if I ever needed it, I could always pry it out and probably save it and use it on the next layout, which I certainly hope I never have to do. Okay, so let's progress along here. Again, we're getting pretty darn close. We'll get the station in because it's done. Again, look for the build video on the gas station, if you're so inclined, and a video on the traffic lights, which also need to be installed, as well as the plexiglass protective piece I'm going to put in there. So this is really coming along, almost to the point where I'm like, yay, I'm done. Oh, I have a couple other lights to add in here, get them wired up. See, I have one of them sitting back there by my Sinclair tow truck. And then this scene's pretty much done. I'm not sure exactly what I'll do in terms of, some trees and bushes to kind of enhance this area a little bit. But again, and I still need details, probably some people, some, signs for the sidewalk for the gas station. But I can do all that later. What I want to get done is the main work. And right now, it was this little area here, getting scenic, getting the gas station done and placed, getting everything wired up, and then I can sit back and say, all right, I'm 99% of the way there. Let's run some trains and have a little bit of fun. So, okay, so probably one more segment here, showing the gas station, whatever else I decide to fiddle with on the scenery at the abandoned building end. But this is, for all intents and purposes, pretty much done. So, okay. Like I said, more to come. Maybe one more brief segment, although nothing I do is brief. You guys know that. But, and then we'll get this wrapped up and get it posted. Alrighty, I am going to call this, at least for this video, done. Now, of course, there's a lot more detailing to do. Vehicles, people, more details, trash, garbage, skids, cans, bottles, you know what I mean. But that'll come. But the major work is done. So I'm just going to give a pan to the area. Again, you got the Yokel, SJ Yokel Manufacturing and its ancillary buildings, Team Track, tractor offloading, etc. for the Lake City feed and grain. Of course, the passenger station and stuff in the back was covered earlier. A little Memorial Park. Then we come into Main Street, the street here. Post office, which is going to be replaced. The new one's being built. It's going to be opened up pretty soon, although they're having some delays. Oh, that's off the layout. Then we have the hotel. Corner gas. Sinclair gas station. And then down here, did some more scenery around the abandoned building, back around the back of the hotel, and I'll come in here and fiddle some more, but you know what, for now, at least in terms of posting this video, we're good to go. Got it detailed up a little bit. It might be a little bit difficult to see. It's real subtle, but the track is in there. Oh, I did me pan back slowly. Got, like I said, some of the goodies growing through the dilapidated old platform there. Then I threw that little shed there in the back and decided to add some trees. Again, this is kind of the other side, kind of the, not really a scenic break, but a little bit of a break. So you got some trees on the left, some bigger trees here on the right. And that kind of breaks it and says, okay, so when you come in here, you're in Lake City. And details down in here. I need to come in and do a little bit more work along the edge of the road and the sidewalk. And why those stairs there, I don't know. I just felt they should be there. I just thought it would be right just to have them in there, so I put them in. So now, it's time to have a little bit of fun. Oh, okay, full disclosure, let me just, okay, there are the traffic lights. Oops. I'm kicking things on the floor. So I got a set of working traffic lights. Yeah, for the growing traffic in Lake City. And I do have a separate video on that. And then kind of explains what I did and how I did it and that kind of fun stuff. So that'll be a separate video coming up pretty shortly after this one. And then there's also another video on the Sinclair gas station. That's a kit from Interaction Hobbies. That's also another video coming up relatively soon. Actually, they're both done. All three of these were kind of all going on in parallel. Now, the one thing I have to do, you'll notice the glaring omission of the crossing gates. I'll do it. I mean, the holes are there. The linkage for this side's still there. I have to move it for this side. I just don't. I'm not in the mood to get to that tackle it. Hopefully, it's very simple. Just a matter of getting the wire down through. I'm just going to use the Walthers, you know, older crossing gates, say they're controlled from the operator in the station. Bend the wire, put it through, and hopefully everything works. I can adjust it from underneath, but I will get to that. And of course, these signals are dropped. I need to hook them up. Everything's pretty much ready for it. I just haven't done that yet, but again, that can come in time. Same with the signal bridge. That needs to be, it's all dropped and wired back. I just need to hook it up. All right, so with that, we will wrap up Lake City, the south side of the tracks. I like it. I really like the way this came to fruition here. I think it looks good. Not too crowded, but enough interest that if you come over here to switch, you might have a good old time. Just kind of having some fun with the local, dropping things off and enjoying yourself. So there you go. The south side of Lake City. All right. That wraps it up, folks. Thanks for hanging out. I know this was a long one. A long time coming. But this was a lot of work. I mean, there's a lot of work in here. It doesn't maybe look like it, but man, there is. Anyway. Okay, we're done. Let's slap this little video on the hiney. Get her posted. More to come as we continue working here on the Bennett Railroad. Thanks for watching, everybody.